All right. So good morning. Good morning. This morning we're going to close with our terms, French manicure terms, and well, terms, manicure terms, and then we'll go over into pedicuring. We're also going to look at a couple of picks as well to help build our terminology. We have 38 cards of terms for manicure. We're going to get started with French manicure. And so French manicure, let's show you a picture of a French manicure. There you go. You got a French manicure. The free edge of the nail is covered in white. And then we have the nail body that has a more natural and neutral color French manicure. All right. Let's look at the definition. Nail bed is one color, pink, peach, or beige, depending on the client's skin tone. And the free edge is a separate color, white. Okay, so that is our definition. It is actually, when you look at it, you know pretty much what the definition is. If you know what free edge is, the nail that hangs off of the nail bed. That is usually white, and then you can choose between pink, peach, or beige as opposed to the client's, how it relates to the client's skin tone. Nail clippers, okay? Nail clippers. Shorten the nails, free edge, okay? Nail clippers, shorten the nails, free edge. Okay, so the nail that hangs off, it cuts it down. Color fading, also known as ombre or color gradation. Ombre, some people call it sombre as well. It's almost like color blending. Okay, color blending goes from a dark to medium to light. And so ombre does not have any lines, okay, of demarcation. It's just a smooth transition. So color fading in nails is also called ombre. Okay, it's like a gradual color effect transition. Nail art technique where one color fades into another. Meeting point is where two colors come together. Those colors are blended together and they have this seamless transition of how they're blended together. No lines of demarcation. Single-use implements, and I said yesterday how important it was to understand single-use implements and multi-use implements. Also, in your state board prep, it is particularly, you must learn how to distinguish single-use items from multi-use items. It does not change as we move into nails. So yes, you have to understand what are single-use implements. Let's turn. Also known as disposable. One-time used implements, also known as disposable, cannot be reused, must be thrown away after one use. We gave examples of Q-tips, anything that's cotton related, anything that can absorb moisture will also absorb bacteria, cannot be reused again. Square nail, a square nail is a nail shape completely straight across the free edge, no rounding at the outside edges. Okay. Put in the chat, if you wear nails, what's your favorite shape? If you wear nails, what's your favorite shape? And let me tell you, I used to do square when I first started getting my nails done because I didn't know no better. I was just getting whatever they gave me. And I just got, I think, what other people were wearing. But if you look at my hand size, my finger size, the length, square does not work for me. I do, in most cases, like lengthy nails, but square does not work for me. I'm more like an almond coffin. I really like a good point. So I did closer to almond And well, I moved from square. Then I had a season of round. Complemented my nail shape. My finger size. It did for a minute. Then I wanted something a little bit more young, fresh, feminine. I went into coffin, and from coffin I went into almond. Now I'm more almond pointed now. I don't like a sharp point, but I'm more almond with a point, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And I can wear them a little longer now that they're almond and pointed. It complements my hand size and also my finger length. Okay, so going into the checks, you wear square. You're slowly loving almond. I get it. Yes, yes, yes. Um, I guess square just was kind of, now I wore square, but it didn't look right to me with length. If I were square, I would go down to like an average size. But now in my grown 40-ish, I like length, but I do like it almond. And I'm very consistent with my colors. I love a routine. I've probably been white on the toes for maybe 2019, 2020. I'm gonna go this whole decade white on the toes. I've been white on the toes. And I've probably been bubble bath uh, about 5 years. Really. Been bubble bath about probably more than 5 years. As long as I've been white, probably 2020, something like that. And this month, my sister, last month, she convinced me to get one nail to jump out the box, get one nail glittery. So I'm stuck on that one nail glittery. I don't know how long that's gonna be, but that's a little spice in my life. The one nail glittery is a lot of spice in my nail life. So I'm gonna be bubble bath and white toes, like really white, and has to be the perfect bubble bath from OPI. And I do a little shiny forefinger. That's me. Um, so you're moving into almond. Almond is gonna, I don't want to say it's gonna give you life, but it just gives you life. Okay. You find yourself just patting your fingers. Nail shape completely straight across the free edge. No rounding at the outside corners, just square. And I have nieces that love that squareness as well. They just love it. Pointed nail. Okay, I do like a pointed nail, but I don't like them too pointed, not super sharp where you can cut somebody. Nail shape suited to thin hands with long fingers and narrow nail beds, okay? Emphasizes and enhances the slender appearance of the hand. Now, for me, I have a fat hand, but I have long fingers. And so this is why I guess I like it. It accentuates a little. Acetone, let's define acetone. Colorless, flammable liquid removes oils and prepares nails for polish. Acetone removes all of the oils. And what you have to do, it allows you to keep it working, but you have to replace the oil that is missing. So this is why at the end of the nail service, you find that cuticle oil is placed back over that cuticle because you have to put back in it what you guys took out. Acetone is also used in hair care, okay, especially to strip, remove, detox glues, oils, and things like that from around the hairline, the scalp. They use acetone. Also, acetone is used in skincare. Acetone is used in skincare to remove all the oil that may be on the face, and you do the acetone before you do a chemical peel or microdermabrasion, because you need to remove all of that surface debris that's sitting on the skin, and the acetone does that. Yes, the skin becomes very ashy looking, But for the services you're doing, you need to have that ashy look. Okay. Yeah, one of those things you don't believe yet. They put acetone all over the skin to remove the oils and dirt before they do a microdermabrasion or chemical. They use it around the hairline to get rid of the like byproduct of lace glues, oil, dirt around the hairline, so your wigs and things like that can settle best or melt the best. And then we use it inside the hair to remove oil buildup, dirt buildup, things of that nature. And it has one thing, it dries. That's what the acetone brain, the memory, it dries, it pulls out. So things are gonna look really dry afterwards. So you're gonna have to replace, after you finish doing whatever your treatments are, you're gonna have to replace it with something lubricating. Autoclave. Autoclave uses high temperature steam and pressure to kill microorganisms and their spores. Okay, so autoclave comes in a infection control component. It should be a note on this term to follow up because you're going to see that again. Manicure. Okay, mani and cure. So cure of the hand. Let's see what it says. Cosmetic treatment for the hands involves cutting, shaping, polishing of the nails, which is optional, removal of the cuticles, and softening of the skin. So it is the care of the hands, okay? Smile line, okay? The smile line will be that line that is very efficient. You see it in, I don't want to, yeah, what was the first one? The French manicure. Your smile lines are very defined. It's going to separate the nail bed from the free edge by your opaque white color. Let's turn and see what smile line is defined as. Curved line where the pink and white meet each other on a French manicured nail. Yes. Okay. So it's going to be the line that separates the white free edge from the peach, beige, or pink nail bed. I would say the technical term would be nail body area. Petrissage. Petrissage is, for one, a form of massage. So whenever you see this, you know, hey, that's one of those massages. And it could be one of those firm massages, okay? Let's turn. Also called kneading, lifting, squeezing, and pressing the tissue, okay? All gives us firmness, all right? So you're really trying to, you want them to feel it, you're gonna have to dip in, okay? Squeezing, lifting, pressing, all right? That is petrissage. Tapoment, or some people say tapament. Tapoment, okay? Tapoment is a massage movement as well, all right? Let's turn. Rapid tapping or striking motion of the hands against the skin. All right, some people also call it the piano moves. You play it like you're playing a piano, run your hands up and down a piano. All right, rapid tapping or striking motion of the hands against the skin. Okay, do not confuse this with hacking, because hacking would be a chopping, okay, a chopping motion, and slapping will actually be the slapping motion of your hands against the skin. So this is tapping, which means I'm using my fingers and fingertips, okay? So it is similar to other movements, but tapoment is going to be rapid tapping, and sometimes we call it the piano, okay? And we do not confuse it with slapping, because slapping, you're going to take your hand against the skin and slap the skin. It is a massage movement as well. And hacking, where you use like a chop against the skin, that is also a massage movement. Please don't confuse these with tapoment. Okay? Fine grit abrasives. When you're talking fine grit abrasives, we talk about memory I want you to think of nail files, okay? Abrasives. When you're talking nails, you're talking abrasives. Fine, medium, and coarse abrasives. Grit is going to be like the category of how abrasive or how less abrasive a file is going to be. We're talking a soft file or a hard, coarse file. Let's turn. Abrasives, 240 grit and higher, designed for buffing, polishing, and removing very fine lines, okay? Abrasives, 240 grit and higher, designed for buffing, polishing, and removing very fine lines. That is gonna be a fine grit abrasive. We're talking nail files, okay? Micro trauma, okay? Microscopic, tiny, often microscopic openings in the skin's tissue may allow microbes. This is also germs or bacteria to enter the skin and lead to infection. You got to be careful about micro traumas around the nails, because examples could be little cuts that come from, some people would call it, what is the term? I can't think of the term. Okay, where you have little cuts around your nails, and then that becomes like an opening for bacteria to come in, and now you have bacteria or fungus. You have an infection in those particular areas around the nails. You have to be very, very careful. This is why people have to get paper cuts treated as well, because these little cuts, these little dramas could be open pathways to germs and bacteria. Vibration is another form of massage, okay? Continuous trembling or shaking movement applied by the hand without leaving contact of the skin. So the vibration is not you shaking a person's head. The vibration is coming from you contracting your muscles. So you're only using your muscles from your fingers to your forearms. You're not going past the elbows. You keep holding it tight, and then you're pressing, okay? And when you press, it's a shake. Some people also use apparatus, which means they use like a vibration or like a head massager that has the vibration on there. They'll use that as well. Medium grit abrasives. Remember, we just had fine grit abrasives, 240 and higher. And those fine grit abrasives help remove scratches. Okay, now you have medium grit abrasives. Let's see what they do. Boards and buffers, 150 to 180 grit, used to smooth and refine surfaces. Also used to shorten natural nails, okay? Used to shorten natural nails. Boards and buffers, 150 to 80 grit, used to smooth and refine surfaces. Also used to shorten natural nails. Oval nail, okay? Oval nail. Oval nail, as we told, conservative. I think I had an oval nail. I may have said round, but I think it may have been an oval. Conservative nail shape, thought to be attractive on most hands, similar to a squoval nail shape with an even more rounded corners. And squoval is just a square and an oval nail put together. That's all it is. All right, so it has the length, it has the square structure, but then the corners are rounded. So it's a conservative nail, okay, thought to be attractive on most hands, similar to squoval nail shape with even more rounded corners. So you talk about rounded nails. Very conservative. A wooden pusher, all right? Now here's the thing about the wood sticks. The wood sticks are literally single-use items. When you wrap them in cotton, you're able to reuse them because the wood stick did not touch the nails, okay? Most of the time, many individuals will wrap them in cotton. and use the cotton to clean out from under the nails to preserve the stick. But if you don't have the cotton, you're using the stick to go under the nails, you have to throw that stick away. Wooden stick to remove cuticle tissue from the nail plate by gently pushing, clean under the free edge of the nail, or apply products. And again, this is considered a single-use item unless you cover it with cotton. Okay, if you don't cover it with cotton, you have to throw it away. Wooden stick, it removes cuticle tissue. Okay, cleans out from under the free edge of the nail, and is used to apply product. Stylus, okay, tool with a solid handle and rounded ball tip on each end, can range in size, used to create nail art. Okay, this is where sometimes we see nail art, creative nail art starts to flourish, because with this stylus we can do dot designs, we can start blending our ombres and things of that nature, marbleizing. So there's a lot that we can do with our stylus. So stylus you can put as a nail art tool. Implements, okay? Implements, tools to perform nail services, can be multi-use or single-use. Tools to perform nail services can be multi-use or single-use, okay? And implements, you have to understand the difference between multi-use and single-use. And as we stated earlier, nail creams, okay? A barrier product, seals the skin surface, holds subdermal moisture in the skin. All right, so nail creams really hold and lock in moisture. All right, so if you use acetone or something of that nature, you definitely want to use a nail cream afterwards. Okay, so whether this comes in a lotion or oil, or it's amazing if you use it with the oil. Okay, so this is something you definitely got to make sure you're using. Okay, nail oils absorb into the nail plate, increase flexibility, often surrounding skin. Okay, absorb into the nail plate, increase flexibility, often surrounding skin. This is one thing we have to look at when we look at nail oils. Again, it's used at the end of the service with the nail creams. It's a great combination, but also if we're going to use acetone or anything that's going to pull away your natural oils in the beginning of the service, you have to make sure you replace that oil. You usually do that with, well, I would say replace oil, but replace that hydration. You do that with nail oils and nail creams. Service sets. Sets of all tools that can be used in a service. Most times you would need more than one service set. Okay, you need more than one service set. I'm gonna say it again. You will need more than one service set. Okay, simply because when clients come in, to keep your calendar, your day rolling, you're not going to wait 20 minutes, 30 minutes to clean those tools before you have to use them again. So you will need more than one service set of tools. It reminds you of barbers who have to have more than one clipper, you know? The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, provides guidelines for protecting cosmetologists from chemicals that can affect health. This is actually one of those cards you will need to study for state board prep. Okay, they've already told us that you're going to have something on your test about the agencies. Okay, so the agencies, 9 times out of 10, you need to understand what OSHA stands for. It's Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Okay, provides guidelines for protecting cosmetologists from chemicals that can affect health. Essential oils. Oils extracted from various forms of distillation, Materials include seeds, barks, roots, leaves, wood, and or plant resins, producing different aromas, okay? Oils extracted from various forms of distillation. Materials include seeds, bark, roots, leaves, wood, and or plant resins, producing different aromas, okay? So this is what we talk about essential oils, very valuable. They're very strong. You cut them down with what we call carrier oils, but essential oils have so many properties, so many benefits. When you're doing your hand and arm and your foot massages, you can use essential oils. It can help relieve literally pain or different things that they have going on in the body. And so it's aromatherapy, and it's associated with touch, massage, reflexology, all of that at the same time. I absolutely love essential oils. And if I'm creating a product, I'm definitely using essential oils and natural fragrance other than anything artificial. So no perfumes, no candle oils, pure essential oils. Massage, manual or mechanical manipulation of the body. When I say mechanical, using your hands or you got a machine, okay, to manipulate the manipulation of the body by rubbing, kneading, tapping, and other movements to increase metabolism and circulation. Got to get that blood going, got to get things moving around, promotes absorption, okay? So the more you do get massages, the better you feel. Those muscles are getting exercise, but at the same time, product is going into the skin and it's coming in and getting to the places it really needs to go. All right. So anyone telling me about vitamin C, products for hyperpigmentation, dark spots, things they said just rub it on there and just leave it there. No, I'm gonna do a little bit more. I'm gonna just really play with my massage movements in that area because I know when I massage, I really create an avenue that the product I'm putting on can really go deeper into the skin so it can work effectively. So I'm not satisfied with it just sitting on top of the skin and you just doing like a little peck until it goes away. I really need to rub this, press this, tap this down into the skin so it will be more beneficial. Massaging also is a great reliever of pain. Nail nipper, all right, nail nipper. Stainless steel implement used to carefully trim away dead skin around the nails, okay? Stainless steel implement used to carefully trim away dead skin around the nails. Nail nipper. Multi-use implements. You're gonna see this again. Always known as reusable implements, should be cleaned and disinfected between clients. That means we can use this on our clients again. And these were multi-use implements, okay? So think about it. Things that you can clean and disinfect goes into the multi-use implement bag. Coarse grit abrasives, okay? Coarse grit abrasives. So we've had fine, we've had medium, and now we have coarse grit abrasives. Let's take a look. Quickly reduce the thickness of any surface and produce deeper and more visible scratches on the skin. So you're really like you're trying to remove something off the nail, you'll go with a coarse because it's gonna get it off. And then your file should change the more that you work. Okay, your file should change from coarse to medium to fine. Okay, by the time you get to finishing, I should not be able to see the scratches that I saw from the first file. Okay, these files are usually less than 100 grit. All right, so the lesser the grit, the more coarse the file is going to be. The higher the grit is, the more gentler the file is going to be. A round nail, slightly tapered nail shape, usually extends just a bit past the fingertip. A round nail, structured, traditional as well. Color blocking, okay? Now we talked about color fading earlier, where it's an example of ombre. You have two colors or maybe a transition of colors with no lines, okay? Now when you talk about color blocking, make sure that's a term. You talking about it's a nail art technique, blocks or sections off color of the nail. You're literally, you can see the lines. You're trying to create, a lot of times you see individuals that create abstracts and things of that nature. You're literally seeing colors on the nail and color, we call it color blocking. We do this with clothing as well. Protein hardener, all right? We're talking polish, combination of clear polish and protein. And collagen is an example of that, okay? It's a protein hardener, combination of clear polish and protein. Scope of practice, your SOP, scope of practice. This says what you are allowed to do within the cosmetology realm as it pertains to manicuring, okay? What is your scope of practice? Whether you're an esthetician or whatever, there's a scope of practice, okay? List of services that you are legally allowed to perform in your specialty in your state, all right? As an esthetician, Tennessee does not have an advanced aesthetics, advanced manicuring, or advanced cosmetology. You may see that in different states, okay? In Georgia, you may see cosmetology broken down into a hairstyling license. Just different aspects of the cosmetology broken down into other licenses. That, what it's broken down into, tells you what you're able to do. So when we talk about braiders, okay, you can braid. When we talk about natural hair, okay, you can lock, weave, and braid, okay? When we talk about cosmetologists, you can do hair, skin, and nails, okay? When we talk about estheticians, your main focus is the face. Your main focus is skin and the body. You cannot use, and this goes across the board, anything that stimulates or causes the deeper layers of the skin to move and function. So it's mainly you're only dealing with the top layer of skin. That's everybody in Tennessee, top layer of skin, okay? And when people try to move into deeper like power peels and use machinery and things of that nature with just a standard esthetician or cosmetology, it's not going to work. Cosmetologists that want to go into lasering, that's not your scope of practice. You're going to have some advanced training, and most of the time learning about the laser, you can learn it all you want, but performing it in the salon in Tennessee, you need to be also held accountable with a medical professional. So most of the time, the lasering is done in spas, med spas, okay, where medical professionals reside. All right. Dimethyl urate hardeners, which is 9 times out of 10, it gives you your shine. Okay. When we see dimethyl, we think of, I want you to think of shine or serums. Okay. And so now we're talking about urea hardeners. All right. So we're talking about something that has a shine. I'm thinking final coat. And if we're in manicuring, I'm thinking top coat. Okay, let's turn and see. Hardener adds cross links to natural nail plate, formaldehyde, and DMU free, does not cause adverse skin reactions. So it is a hardener, okay? It's probably clear, and it hardens and protects and builds on that nail plate. Metal pusher, found in single use or multi-use. We're going to choose multi-use because it says metal. Anything metal can be washed, aka cleaned and disinfected. Multi-use metal implements used to gently scrape cuticle tissue from the natural nail plate. Marbleizing. This falls under nail art. Swirled nail art effect involves two or more colors. Stylus swirls wet polish to form a design. That stylus, what we learned that definition earlier, is that tool in nails that has the little balls on the end, helps make the decorations, the nail art. Okay. And so you use that stylus to help move the colors in and out, and it gives you a swirl effect. Paraffin, absolute favorite. Paraffin, petroleum byproduct, excellent sealing properties, barrier qualities, excellent moisture in the epidermal layer, which means the paraffin really hydrates the skin that you can see, the top layer of skin. It really hydrates the skin you can see. Paraffin is used in a lot of body services, from facials to hands to feet to body. Okay, we'll paint the paraffin on and wrap the body up. And we're simply doing that because we want the body to be more hydrated, want the body to be treated. This is something you'll find in one of those bath spas or all day spa. And so paraffin, I absolutely love it. Petroleum byproduct, so it's not petroleum. It usually comes with the scent. I love the lavender and the peach. You can literally take that wax when you're done with it, put it in a little sacket and put it in your drawer. And it can kind of give your clothes like a little scent as well, a little pleasant scent. But absolutely love it. When they put it on facials, you put a gauze on top and then they will paint the paraffin on top and then remove it. That is great for those clients that have dry skin, individuals that have dry knuckles, dry hands, dry feet. This is a great moisturizing and hydration treatment. What I would do for those areas, hand, feet, elbows, I would make sure those areas are cleaned, and then I would take like a cuticle oil or some type of oil or cream, massage it into the hands, feet, elbow, wherever I'm doing, and then I would place my hands in the paraffin, dip it 3 times, pull it up. And what happens, I let it set a little while. And so the paraffin has a heat to it. It is starting to push. It will push that moisture, that oil, that cream that you put on the skin to push it down deeper. So now you have hydration in the deeper areas of your skin, and your skin is going to look hydrated longer. A swivel nail, combination of a square and an oval nail, nail shaped with a square free edge, rounded off at the corners, so the corners and edges are not as hard. All right, so those were our terms for manicuring. We needed to make sure that we check that out. And with that, make sure that you check that out. Where's our chapters? All right, so our assignment for the week was check-in questions for manicuring. I'm also going to add check-in questions for pedicuring. Okay, I'm going to add check-in questions for pedicuring. We want to have that due Monday, okay, by 5 p.m. So Monday by close of business. You don't have to get it in by Monday morning because I know it's 2 chapters coming together, but Monday by 5 p.m. Make sure that you have it in. You can write the questions and scan it over, or you could send it in the email to the school email. Okay. And so manicure and pedicure are going to be a little identical. There are a couple of areas that I want us to dive into. That of course is going to be the term. Okay. You're already going to do the check-in questions. But we need to look at procedures and protocols. And disinfecting is going to be big when it comes to like foot tubs and things of that nature. Okay, so let's watch this particular video and then we'll take like a 5-minute break.
There are many different types of pedicure chairs and tubs you might come across in the salon. Massaging chairs, modern stylish benches, and your classic basin or bowl. Some foot basins circulate water via fans, pumps, or whirlpool jets. Some connect to running water and a drain system, while others are completely portable. Despite these differences, all pedicure tubs and equipment have strict cleaning and disinfecting protocols for after each client, at the end of every day, and once a week. Failure to properly maintain the cleanliness of your foot spa could result in the growth and spread of disease-causing microorganisms, which are dangerous to both you and your clients. In this segment, we will explain the different types of foot spas and demonstrate the required cleaning and disinfecting regulations. Many salons will refer to any of their pedicure chairs that circulate water as whirlpool spas. However, this is a misconception. There are 3 types of foot spas that circulate water: whirlpool, airjet, and pipeless. The whirlpool foot spa creates a massaging effect by recirculating water through built-in pipes and jets, similar to a jacuzzi tub, and is often referred to as a piped foot spa. The whirlpool or piped foot spa has come under scrutiny because disease-causing microorganisms tend to grow inside the pipes despite the disinfecting process, and therefore has been slowly discontinued in the industry. The air jet basin uses a blower to force air through small holes in an air channel, creating an overall bubbling massage. Water does not circulate through these air channels. The new standard in the industry is the pipeless foot spa. The pipeless foot spa uses impellers, the rotating blade of a pump, to circulate water. This no-pipe foot spa is easily cleaned and disinfected. All 3 have similar cleaning and disinfecting procedures. We will demonstrate on the pipeless foot spa. Let's begin by demonstrating the procedure for after every client. Be sure to also consult the operating manual for the manufacturer's disinfection protocol. Put on gloves and safety glasses. Drain all water from the foot basin or tub if it has not already been drained. Remove the covers from the impellers and any other removable components according to the manufacturer's instructions. Most simply twist off. Thoroughly scrub all removable components and the impellers. For whirlpool and air jet basins, this step is part of the end-of-day procedure. Scrub all visible residue from the inside walls of the basin. Use a clean and disinfected brush with a handle, liquid soap, and water. Make sure you clean and disinfect your brush after every single use. Otherwise, the brush can transfer pathogens to other foot spas. Rinse and replace the properly cleaned screen and the other removable parts. Rinse the basin with clean, warm water and drain. Refill the basin with clean water. If the basin has jets, be sure to put enough water in to cover the jets. Measure the correct amount of EPA-registered hospital disinfectant and add it to the water in the basin. Circulate the disinfectant through the basin for 10 minutes, or the length of time indicated on the product label. Set a timer to keep track of the time. Clean and disinfect all external parts and surfaces of the basin. Drain, rinse with clean water, and dry the basin with a clean paper towel. Record the disinfection information in the salon's logbook, if required by state law or by salon policy.
In addition to the cleaning procedures after every client, it's also important to circulate chelating detergent through foot spas at the end of every day. Take a look at the following demonstration.
Put on gloves and safety glasses. For whirlpool and air jet basins, you will need to remove the screens and any other removable parts during the end-of-day cleaning procedure. You might need a screwdriver for this. In pipeless spas, you perform this step after each client. Clean the screens as well as the area behind these parts. Rinse and replace the properly cleaned screen and the other removable parts. Fill the basin with warm water and chelating detergent. Circulate the chelating detergent through the system for 5 to 10 minutes, following the manufacturer's instructions. If excessive foaming occurs, Discontinue circulation and let the solution soak for the remainder of the time, per the manufacturer's directions. Drain the soapy solution. Rinse the basin with clean water. Refill the basin with clean water. Measure the correct amount of EPA-registered hospital disinfectant and add it to the water in the basin. Circulate the disinfectant through the basin for 10 minutes, or the length of time indicated on the product label. Set a timer to keep track of the time. Drain, rinse with clean water, and wipe the basin dry with a clean paper towel. Record the disinfection information in the salon's logbook, if required by state law or by salon policy.
Don't ever skip the once-a-week disinfecting procedure. Once a week, you should allow the basin to soak in the EPA disinfectant solution overnight. It's important to follow the same steps as your end-of-day procedure, but leave the disinfectant solution in the basin through the night.
After your end-of-day cleaning procedure, don't drain the disinfectant solution. Turn the unit off and leave the disinfecting solution in the unit overnight. In the morning, put on gloves and safety glasses, and then drain and rinse the basin with clean water. Refill the basin with clean water and flush the system. Drain and wipe the basin dry with a clean paper towel. Record the disinfection information in the salon's logbook if required by state law or by salon policy. Finally, we will demonstrate how to properly clean and disinfect non-whirlpool foot basins or tubs. This type of tub does not circulate water. It can be connected to running water and a drain or be portable. If it is a portable tub, you will clean and disinfect it at the dispensary sink. Any equipment that holds water for pedicures must be cleaned and disinfected after every pedicure. Put on gloves and safety glasses. Drain all water from the foot basin. Scrub all visible residue from the inside walls of the basin. Use a clean, disinfected brush, liquid soap, and water. Rinse the basin with clean water and drain. Refill the basin with clean water. Measure the correct amount of EPA-registered hospital disinfectant and add it to the water in the basin. Leave the disinfectant solution in the basin for 10 minutes, or the length of time indicated on the product label. Set a timer to keep track of the time. Drain the basin, rinse with clean water, and wipe the basin dry with a clean paper towel. Record the disinfection information in the salon's logbook if required by state law or by salon policy.
Be sure to disinfect non-whirlpool foot basins at the end of every day as well. Follow the same procedures as you do for after each client.
All right, I don't think that detail is done as often as it should be, but it is something that we must definitely take a look at. I wanted to show that because I know we frequent nail salons, nail spas, that in the day letting set overnight. I don't think that's something that is done all the time. We're going to pick up in the textbook. You already have your assignment for the rest of the week and the weekend, which is the check-in questions for chapter 20 and 21. That's manicure and pedicure. They're going to roll together and they're due on Monday. We're going to be going through, the reading assignment is going to be chapter 21. In pedicures, I think I've highlighted a couple of areas. I'm gonna go in and do some bookmarking over the weekend. You can go in and kind of check. The bookmarking will show you where I've been, highlighting different areas that will be on the exam, okay? And so that's all we're gonna do for today. I was gonna do a little break, but nah, we pretty much got what we needed to get today. If you need anything, let me go here first.